Dear Arthur Schopenhauer, I respond to you, not to speak for all women, but to speak for myself, as to speak for all women would put them in a box and be a disservice to them. You say, you need only look at the way in which she is formed to see that woman is not meant to undergo great labor, whether of the mind or of the body. Yet I believe you unknowingly contradict yourself when you say, she pays the debt of life not by what she does, but by what she suffers, by the pains of childbearing and care for the child, and by submission to her husband, to whom she should be a patient and cheerful companion. The keenest sorrows and joys are not for her, nor is she called upon to display a great deal of strength. Dear Sir, I am doomed by the freedom to choose. I take action in my suffering, to bear pains close to being burned alive in order to continue a life, or choose to end a bloodline. These matters are far from trivial, as you would later mention the word, to muse your own interpretation. And this I ask you, must I dim a light of constant cheerfulness, so that you may make yourself bolder? Heard, perhaps? Perhaps you are right when you say we are childish, but your definition of the word is untrue when you say frivolous and short-sighted. In a word, they are big children all their life long, a kind of intermediate stage between a child and a full-grown man. We are not in between, but are both simultaneously. Do not think that we do not know about the sufferings of the world, but we conceal them for a while so that life may continue to turn. As the water, we continue to move, bending to care for the will of the world. If not for the childlike curiosity of women, what would happen to man? You may relish in your suffering, but had you listened to a woman tell her story, she would have taught you to lean on curiosity which carries hope through your suffering. And perhaps we women do have a striking effect that seems so important to discuss. But to lose our wings after childbirth is not a sound connection. We understand that we do not look the same. We do not feel the same. But water never looks or feels the same. The outward beauty is only concealed to protect us from the shallowness of those afraid of fleeting beauty. Only those who chip the ice will see an ocean. And if the only business that really claims their earnest attention is love, would that not be the highest form of suffering to endure it all in the name of love? You say that women remain children their whole life long, but this is so there may be life. Her reasoning is not defected, but rather carefully calculated so that mankind may never cease. Do you understand the weight of considering past dangers, yet continuing to hold on to present curiosity, so that others may live in the future? So you see, we too are borne down by the weight of our cares, but still make the time to amuse man in his hours of recreation. And how do we do this? By being as both a child and grown adult. We reveal things that are concealed at a certain time, so that the beauty of mankind may never die. Yes, consult us in times of difficulty, so that we may understand you. We are not short-sighted, but rather flexible in our thinking. Perhaps our sympathy, kindness, and interest has garnered irrational results for you. But what justice is done for a man who has been wrongly accused of murder and has no one to run to his side in compassion. And you say nature has assigned us to be the weaker sex. Or have you simply misinterpreted it? A rubber band is considered weak in terms of initial outward structure, but strong when pulled. Are we cunning? Or have you simply never met a woman who chooses the non-rationality of honesty only to be swallowed whole every time? I would only think that if a Sophia Marmeladov had loved you in all your weaknesses, you would have wept. And you proclaim that we are not destined for anything else? So you choose to put us in a music box then? Perhaps when you have passed, you will see the words of Up in the Gallery, and understood that it is you who refuses to see the destination in your short-sightedness. But I digress. Is there any more reason to go on here? Is there reason to listen, as you have already put us in a narrow box? Please, I'm curious, and I will await your response.